Welcome to HealthSphere, MD. I want to start with a question. What if the single most powerful thing you could do for your long-term health wasn't a supplement, a drug, or a fitness program, but simply the way you eat every day? Today, we're exploring the Mediterranean diet, not as a trend, but as one of the most rigorously studied, clinically validated, and genuinely sustainable approaches to human nutrition ever documented. In the next 10 minutes, you'll understand exactly what it is, what the science actually says, and how to start living it from tomorrow morning. Let's get into it. The Mediterranean diet isn't a rule book. It's a pattern, a reflection of how people in coastal Greece, southern Italy, Spain, and the Levant have eaten for centuries. And here's what's remarkable. Without calorie counting, without macros, without restriction culture, these populations consistently ranked among the healthiest and longest lived on Earth. At its core, the diet is built around whole, minimally processed foods, an abundance of vegetables, fruits, legumes, whole grains, and herbs. The primary fat is extra virgin olive oil, not butter, not seed oils. Fish and seafood are eaten regularly. Poultry, eggs, and dairy appear in moderation. Red meat is occasional, not central. But here's what separates it from any diet you've tried before. It's designed around pleasure. Seasonal eating. Share meals. Food as connection, not just fuel. That cultural philosophy is inseparable from its health benefits, and we'll come back to that. Let's go component by component, because the details matter. Vegetables and fruits. Think variety and volume. Leafy greens, cruciferous vegetables, tomatoes, bell peppers, artichokes, citrus, berries. These are your primary source of antioxidants, polyphenol, fiber, and micronutrients. Aim for color on every plate. Whole grains, barley, bulgur, farro, whole wheat, brown rice. These provide complex carbohydrates that digest slowly, stabilize blood sugar, and feed your gut microbiome. White refined grains are out. Ancient and whole grains are in. Legumes, lentils, chickpeas, white beans, fava beans. Eaten multiple times per week in traditional Mediterranean cooking. They deliver plant protein, soluble fiber, and resistant starch. A triple benefit for metabolic health. Extra virgin olive oil, the cornerstone. This is the most scientifically interesting component. Extra virgin olive oil is rich in oleic acid, polyphenol, and oleocanthal, a compound with anti-inflammatory properties comparable in mechanism to ibuprofen, but from food. It is the primary fat in this diet, used generously for cooking, dressing, and finishing dishes. Fatty fish and seafood. Salmon, sardines, mackerel, anchovies, and tuna eaten at least twice weekly. These are your primary source of long-chain omega-3 fatty acids, EPA and DHA, which are foundational for cardiovascular and neurological health. Moderate protein, poultry, eggs, dairy, Greek yogurt, aged cheeses, eggs, and lean poultry feature in moderate quantities. These provide complete protein, B vitamins, and in the case of fermented dairy, beneficial probiotics. Red meat and sweets, minimal, reserved for celebrations. This isn't deprivation, it's prioritization. When red meat does appear, it's high quality and in small portions as a flavor component, not a centerpiece. This is where the evidence becomes remarkable. The Mediterranean diet is one of the most studied dietary patterns in clinical history. Here's what we know. 1. Cardiovascular protection. The PREDIMED trial, one of the largest randomized nutrition studies ever conducted, showed that Mediterranean diet adherence reduced major cardiovascular events by approximately 30% compared to a low-fat control diet. It improves HDL cholesterol, reduces LDL oxidation, lowers blood pressure, and reduces arterial inflammation. 2. Weight and metabolic health. Because the diet is high in fiber, healthy fats, and whole foods, it promotes lasting satiety. People don't overeat because their bodies are genuinely nourished. This leads to natural weight stabilization, without hunger, restriction, or calorie obsession. 3. Brain health and cognitive longevity. Multiple longitudinal studies associate Mediterranean diet adherence with slower cognitive decline, better memory retention, and meaningfully reduced risk of Alzheimer's disease. The omega-3s protect neuronal membranes. The polyphenol reduce neuroinflammation. This may be the most underappreciated benefit of this entire pattern. 4. Type 2 diabetes prevention and management. The combination of low glycemic load, high fiber, and healthy fats improves insulin sensitivity and reduces fasting glucose. For people with prediabetes or type 2 diabetes, this diet is a cornerstone of evidence-based management. 5. Longevity. Mediterranean-adjacent populations in Sardinia and Icaria, two of the world's documented blue zones, have followed versions of this pattern for generations. They don't just live longer, they live well longer. Fewer years of chronic disease, better mobility, sharper minds. Before we move to implementation, let me clear up the myths I hear most often. Myth: it's just pasta and wine. Pasta exists in this diet, but in whole grain form, in measured portions, as part of balanced meals built around vegetables and protein. Wine, specifically red wine, is consumed optionally and moderately by some. It is never a required component. Myth: it's expensive. The staples of this diet, dried beans, lentils, seasonal vegetables, canned sardines, brown rice, olive oil, are budget-friendly. The misconception comes from comparing to premium specialty stores. Shop local markets, buy seasonal, buy frozen fish. This diet can be extremely economical. Myth: fats are bad, so olive oil must be bad. This is outdated nutrition science. Dietary fat is not the enemy. Type and quality of fat is what matters. The polyphenol-rich fats in extra virgin olive oil actively protect cardiovascular health. This has been demonstrated in dozens of clinical trials. Myth: you have to be Mediterranean to follow it. Absolutely not. The principles: plant-forward, whole food, minimally processed, olive oil-based, adapt to any cuisine or cultural context. Local seasonal vegetables from Nepal, Peru, or Japan can all fit within this framework. Myth: it's complicated. It's actually the opposite of complicated. Vegetables, legumes, whole grains, olive oil, fish. There are no macros to calculate, no phases to follow, no supplements required. Let me give you an honest, practical roadmap. Not aspirational, but actually actionable. Step 1. Rebuild your pantry foundation. High-quality extra virgin olive oil is your most important purchase. Quality matters here, so don't go cheap. Dried lentils, chickpeas, white beans in bulk, canned sardines, mackerel, and salmon. Whole grain pasta, brown rice, barley. A variety of dried herbs, oregano, thyme, rosemary, cumin. Step 2. Build every meal around plants. Vegetables should cover at least half your plate at every meal. Not as a garnish, as the main event. Protein and grains build around them, not the reverse. Step 3. Commit to fish twice a week. This is non-negotiable for the full cardiovascular and neurological benefits. Salmon, sardines, mackerel. Baked, grilled, or pan-seared in olive oil with lemon and herbs. Simple and fast. Step 4. Replace, don't restrict. Butter by olive oil. White bread by whole grain. White rice by brown rice or barley. Processed snacks by nuts, olives, fresh fruit. Every swap compounds over time. Step 5. Move your body daily. The original Mediterranean lifestyle wasn't sedentary. Daily walking, gardening, physical labor, movement was woven into life. Even 30 minutes of walking daily dramatically amplifies the dietary benefits. Step 6. Eat with people. This may sound soft, but the research backs it up. Shared meals, slow eating pace, reduce stress cortisol, and improve digestion and satisfaction. The social dimension of eating is a genuine health variable. A sample day looks like this. Breakfast: Greek yogurt with walnuts, honey, and fresh fruit. Lunch: large salad with chickpeas, cucumber, tomatoes, olives, feta, and generous olive oil dressing, with a slice of whole grain bread. Dinner: pan-seared salmon with roasted vegetables and olive oil and herbs, alongside a small portion of brown rice or barley. Snack: a handful of almonds or a small bowl of hummus with raw vegetables. No calorie counting. No obsession, just real food. I want to address real objections because the people who fail on this diet usually fail for reasons that are solvable. Food allergies or intolerances. Tree nut allergy? Use seeds, pumpkin, sunflower, sesame. Can't eat fish? Lean harder on legumes, eggs, and poultry for protein. The plant-based components still deliver most of the benefit. Lactose intolerant? Simply omit dairy. This diet functions beautifully without it. Gluten sensitivity? Quinoa, certified gluten-free oats, and brown rice slot in seamlessly. Budget concerns. Frozen vegetables are nutritionally equivalent to fresh and far cheaper. Canned fish is excellent quality protein at low cost. Dried legumes bought in bulk are among the most economical foods on the planet. Focus on the staples, not the specialty items. Family resistance. Don't overhaul everything at once. Start with one change per week. Maybe it's fish on Friday. Maybe it's switching to olive oil. Maybe it's a bigger vegetable component at dinner. Model the change without mandating it. Let the food speak for itself. Sustainability concerns. This is the most important point I can make. If you are miserable following this diet, something is wrong with your implementation, not the diet. You should feel satisfied after meals. You should have energy. You should look forward to eating. If you don't, adjust the variety, the flavor intensity, the social context. This is a lifestyle meant to be enjoyed for decades, not endured for weeks. How do you know it's working? Let's talk about markers, both clinical and experiential. Physical and subjective markers. Most people notice improved energy and reduced afternoon fatigue within 2 to 3 weeks. Better sleep quality often follows. Reduced bloating and more regular digestion. Clearer skin. Less joint stiffness. These are not anecdotal. They reflect systemic inflammation reduction. Clinical markers. If you have a baseline panel with your physician, you could track objectively LDL particle size and oxidation, HDL levels, fasting triglycerides, fasting glucose, HbA1c, blood pressure, and inflammatory markers like hsCRP. Most people see meaningful improvements within 8 to 12 weeks of genuine adherence. Behavioral anchors, your weekly checkpoints. Did you eat fatty fish twice this week? Were vegetables the foundation of most meals? Was olive oil your primary cooking fat? Did you move your body daily? These 4 questions predict 80% of outcomes. A practical tracking tool. Keep a simple 3-day food log, not to count calories, but to observe patterns. You'll notice, when you eat more fish and greens, your focus sharpens. When olive oil is abundant, you're not hungry between meals. When legumes anchor your lunch, afternoon cravings disappear. Over 3 to 6 months, you'll develop a body-level literacy about what nourishes you specifically. That's the end goal, not compliance with a system, but an intuitive relationship with food that lasts a lifetime. Let me leave you with what matters most. The Mediterranean diet is not a weight loss program. It is not a trend. It is a scientifically validated, clinically tested pattern of eating that addresses the root biological causes of most chronic disease: inflammation, oxidative stress, and metabolic dysfunction. It works because it nourishes your cardiovascular system, your brain, your gut microbiome, and your metabolic health simultaneously. It works because it's built on whole foods your body has evolved to process. And it works because it's designed to be enjoyed, not endured. If you're dealing with heart disease, type 2 diabetes, cognitive concerns, or chronic inflammation, the Mediterranean diet is an evidence-based, first-line intervention worth discussing with your physician. If you're healthy and want to stay that way, this is the single most powerful dietary investment you can make in your future self. Here is your one action from today. Pick one concrete change. Not 10. 1. Maybe it's replacing your cooking oil with high-quality extra virgin olive oil this week. Maybe it's eating fish on Wednesday and Saturday. Maybe it's building one meal per day around vegetables. Start there. Let that become automatic. Then build the next habit. The research is clear. The path is simple. The only variable left is whether you begin. Share what you're starting in the comments. I read everyone. If this was useful, Please like and subscribe, and share it with someone you care about. I'll see you in the next video. Thank you for watching HealthSphere MD. If you found this valuable, please like, subscribe, and ring the bell so you never miss an episode. Take care of yourselves, and remember, the choices you make consistently, not perfectly, are the ones that shape your health. See you next time.